Hello there. So today we are going to be repotting up this emerald spreader Japanese yew that was purchased, I believe, 4 to 5 years ago, and it's been in a wooden container since it was planted. So today, more importantly, I wanted to show you a wooden container that I don't think you should use as an actual planter. So I wanted to show you that so you will appreciate or learn from my mistake here, so you don't, spend all your money on a nice container to have it just fall apart on you 4 to 5 years later. So let me go ahead and show you that container right now. All right, here it is. I believe this is called a whiskey barrel container, and look at what happened. You see that? It has rotted down over time, and this container had never been on the actual soil. It's always been over gravel like that. These are the remains. You see that? So last evening I went and picked up this inexpensive container. I know that it's small for that plant. The reason I wanted to choose something smaller is basically so I could readily move it. This location that it's in, it seems to be getting too much sun, even though the tag says it can do 6+ hours of direct sunlight. And if you have been watching my video, sunlight in the south is not the same thing as sunlight maybe in an area where they trial this plant. So I learned that the hard way, and I didn't know this before. When I started gardening, I just thought, well, 6+ hours, so I can put it anywhere I want. Well, it proves to be wrong here, at least here in where I am at. And I moved it here thinking that with the Japanese maple being closer here, it would give it some relief. It was not doing good either during late spring and in the summer as well. And I think there's a lot of reflection of heat from the house as well. So that's why I'm going to choose this smaller container. And I know it's not going to like it too much. And I still don't know where I want to put it. And that's why it's still in a container. And I don't have, too much shade, too much of a shady area right now around my house. So it's just going to be in a cramped container for now. And I'm going to see how it does in this container. And I may have to move it underneath the Japanese maple when it gets too hot. So that's the justification why there is a smaller container for it right now. So I started working on this yesterday, but never got a chance to finish. So I just put, soil on top of it to protect the roots, and then also did this to the tarp. So I think it should be good. I also pruned the dead foliage and branches back. So this is what I was referring to during the hot months. There would be a lot of die off or die back right in the center. So initially I was not planning on filming this. That's why I did not film what I did with this wooden container and what I did here as well. But I thought about it and I was like, I think some of you might appreciate seeing this because, it's not going to always be nice and rosy when you're gardening. There's always going to be things that happen, things that you didn't learn, mistakes that you made, and I think that some of you might appreciate seeing this, and I want you to learn from my mistake. so you don't make the same one, especially if you happen to be watching this and you're starting out with your gardening journey like I did several years ago. And that's why I didn't know about, all of this when these were planted, or this was planted in that wooden container. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful wooden container, and I like wood stuff a lot. And I do have 2 other containers over there that are doing the same thing, and they have been in this garden for, I would say, around the same amount of time. So I am not looking forward to, take care of that. Not because it's hard, but because it can get pretty messy. Because you'll have soil underneath coming out. And I did use a leaf blower to blow most of the soil off of here, but you can see I still have some more down there. When we get some dry days, I'll go ahead and take care of that too. I'm really trying to figure out why this has not done well. The scorching usually is around the center, and I'm thinking that it's a possibility that it might get a lot of reflection from the wooden container, because it was low. It was not sitting up higher in the container, and I'm thinking that's why. So I was thinking yesterday that I would use some of the mixed soil that I did the other day from a previous project to just raise everything up. And of course, when I did, everything just fell apart, and that's when I was like, okay, I just need to go and get a different container. So we're gonna have this as high as possible. I was not thinking, I always forget this part where I know that I'm gonna have to put something in the actual plant in here. All right. It's gonna be snugged. There was a bigger container, but I just thought it was going to be too big and too awkward if I need to move it myself. That's why I did not choose that one. All right, plan B. Because I really want it high. Come on, guy. And this, I know that I can easily move myself if I need to. It's just a little bit. This is not what you should do, you guys. It's gonna fit really snug. The roots on the outside, they are really hugging the edge of this container. I am so sorry. I know you don't like this, but I'm doing this to help you out. So I was hoping that I could use up a lot of the soil that were mixed the other day, but now I have so much more soil again. Sometimes things don't go as planned. We just have to go with it sometimes. All right. I think that's good. Some of you already know I have a weak back, lower back, and that's why I am not lifting this. I mean, I could. I'll just have to feel the pain later. So I'm trying to be smarter. Oh, did I break that? I cannot see. Oh, how did it happen? Hopefully I did not break this. All right. That one's in the center. Just a little more support. Oh, it's not perfect, but all right. So now I have to figure out which side I want this to be on. So maybe this side. All right, let's see. I guess that's good. I mean, I could put it on the other side, but maybe this side would be better. Anyway, I might change my mind and just move the whole thing around because I don't like this spot right here. But I think it'll look better from this angle. All right, here's another stupid thing that I didn't even think about. So I had every intention of putting this container be inside of this, and look at me, I was really stupid because how am I supposed to do that now? Anyway, all right, there you go, Terry. Another thing that you were not thinking ahead on. Far away, it doesn't look bad at all. I mean, it is a smaller container. It would have a better impact if I use a bigger container. That's why I wanted to use that. I mean, I could still do it and just have my son help me. I might do that. So we're just gonna see what happens. I'm gonna move this container, have my son help me move this container out, and then put this here, and then put this back in and see if I like it better this way or when that container is used as an outside aesthetic feature, as an outside aesthetic feature. All right, so anyway, now you learn from another mistake that I just made. You won't be able to see it right now. We'll just have to wait. I'm excited to see it as much as you are as well. So let's recap. So you know that buying that whiskey barrel wooden container is not good to use as an actual planter. I think if you were to put this directly on like soil, it would have degraded a lot faster. But since I've always had it on top of gravel, it took 4 to 5 years. And it just depends on where you are as well. So we get a lot of rainfall here, and I guess I was not factoring that in. So if you live in an area where you get lots of rainfall, this could happen. But if you live in a drier environment, like in the desert or something where you hardly get any rain, I think this will last you a lot longer. It's not going to break down or fall apart as fast as it has in my situation, my area here. So something that I learned. So from now on, just for me, I'm not going to be buying any more of this kind of container, the wooden container, unfortunately, even though I do love the look of wood in the garden space. So the other option I was thinking is I can always put, plastic container with a saucer on the bottom there. But even then, because of a lot of number of days of rain that we get here, it's not very good. So unfortunately, it's going to be a no-go for wooden containers in my garden in the future. 6+ hours in the south, it's not the same thing as 6+ hours, say, up north. So whenever you buy plants, and I've realized this maybe a year or two ago, I'll say a good year, that you really have to look at your tag and see where the plant was trial at. For example, this is a Monrovia plant, and when I researched, I don't think they have any Monrovia companies in the south. So wherever they have been trialing this plant at, it was more likely up in the west coast somewhere. So that's something you'll have to research for yourself too. Sometimes they'll say something like grown in a certain part of the country, even though it's a Monrovia plant. I think it's from California, the company itself. So I learned that about that, and ever since then, I'll look at the plant tag. If it says it's grown, I don't know, in areas around the south like where I am, then I know at least 6 hours of full sun, I know it can do well here. Now, if you live in the south, southern living, I think it's southern living plants, those are good. Those are good for us here. You know that if a southern living tag says 6+ hours of direct sunlight, you know that it can do well in our direct sunlight here. Really hope that you've learned something from this video, what to do and what not to do, a lot of what not to do. All right, it is, I think, a few to several hours later, and we got the plant in position, so I'm excited to show you. All right, my son helped me out putting the plant in there, and I love it so much better. You can see that the wooden container is on the outside, acting as an aesthetic feature, and inside we have the container with the plant. And since this is a lot shorter than this container, this is like 40+ inches, and this one 32 inches, I believe. So there are some pavers that were placed down there to raise the whole thing up. Because if you remember, what I mentioned earlier was that the soil level to this original container was all the way just up to there. So you have a good, like 3 to 4 inches of container still not filled with soil. And I think that may have contributed a little bit to why it was scorching mostly in the center, and also the fact that there's some reflection from the house as well. So I'm trying to, learn how this plant likes its environment. And you can see this is kind of wobbly a little bit, just because it doesn't fit as nicely, because some of the pavers are hitting the edge of it. So not a nice fit, but it's just there to make this space look a little bit nicer and make the plant appear to be in a bigger container. And I also decided to position the plant this way. So originally this was on this side, but it was impeding the walkway a bit, and it's just going to get, you know, wider. And this is a walkway where delivery people come often, if they do come down here and then up the porch. So I think this will give this, you know, a little bit more time to get over here, while on this side it has some space to move as far as it wants for a while. So it doesn't look as nice from this angle like this, but eventually it should do its thing and make it for a nicer feature. And once the area is a lot more dry, we'll go ahead and take care of the soil spots there. So overall, I do love it so much better. Now we found a solution for now for this plant, and I hope that it's going to like this environment a lot better. And as mentioned, when I do notice that it's going to be affected by the sunlight during the summer, we'll just move it somewhere under the Japanese maple here. All right, thank you so much for watching this video if you stayed on, and I hope you learned something from my mistakes here and you found this video enjoyable as well. And until my next video, I hope you take care. Bye for now.